All right. Hi, everyone. It's really nice to meet you. My name is Ashley Reese, and I'm an account executive here at FieldClock. I've been with the company for about 2 years, and before that, I was actually growing apples and peaches in New Jersey. So today, I'm excited to give you a tour of FieldClock. I'm going to show a few slides just to give you a brief overview of FieldClock, who we are, what we do, and ultimately how we can help. Followed by that, I'll jump into a quick demo just to show you, in real life how this can apply to your operation and your farm. At the end, we may have some time for some questions, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know each and every one of you. And if you have any follow-up questions afterwards, we'll provide my contact information then. All right. Thanks again for joining us. So you're here to see FieldClock, and ultimately we are a timekeeping system that was created by farmers for farmers. We started off in the Pacific Northwest where the farmer and his wife needed help ultimately clocking their people in about 4:30 in the morning. And from there, handling piecework, which some of you may know is an absolute challenge. So they started building a system that would really help with that process back in 2015. And, word spread, they started working with a few neighbors. They found that it really worked and it worked well. So by 2017, we started FieldClock. And I'm proud to say that the three individuals that started FieldClock are the same people who own it today. Fast forward to recent events, FieldClock went from just a timekeeping system to adding payroll powered by ADP right in the same system. So for those of you who may struggle with QuickBooks or with your payroll system that may not take all of the decimals you need or understand what a 943 form is, FieldClock really does. So now we have payroll powered by ADP right in our system so that you can easily grab time and attendance from your employees and pay your people right there. Additionally, last year we became a proud supporter of Farm Bureau and are now a member benefit for them. So as I mentioned earlier, we started off in the Pacific Northwest, but we've made our way across the country and we're now in over 27 states. So although today we're focusing on strawberries and some piecework, we have a flexible system that works with farms of all shapes and sizes and for every commodity. We even work with some customers who aren't in agriculture at all. The reason why FieldClock exists is because the cost of pen and paper is compounding. So let me give you an example that's close to me. Because like I mentioned earlier, I was growing apples and peaches in New Jersey, and I had to handle time and attendance with time cards. So every week I would have to grab about 95 time cards. I'd have to add them up. And as many of you may know, a lot of times your employees are going to write some odd numbers in there, or sometimes they won't even fill them out at all. And we as farmers, and also trying to save our own time to get home to our family, will often guesstimate. And usually that's to the employee's advantage, and understandably so, because again, you don't want your employee to come back and say you rip them off. You'd rather just inflate their hours so that this way you can move throughout your day. So take that information, your time cards. What do you do with it at that point? You've calculated your hours. Now you have to do some data entry. You have to put it on a spreadsheet of some sort, and so that this way at the end of the year you can decide where all of your labor expense went. You need to know, how much production did we get out of one field? How much labor went into that field? That's really difficult to do with Excel. From there, you take that information and you put it into your payroll system. Again, that's a lot of manual entry, and a lot of times we've already inflated our hours, and there's human error in that too. Now, we're going to use our information from our payroll system to be able to run our taxes, and ultimately these official forms are going to help with compliance as well. So some simple mistakes that may happen from a timekeeping standpoint, the longer they go by, the more costly they are and the more compounding it is. And that's ultimately why FieldClock exists. We've created an app-based system that streamlines this process. And part of my job, and I think my favorite part about my job, is that I get to work with farmers all across the country and understand their operations and understand where their pain points are, where their major challenges are, and then find the right use of our tools that really help them and save a lot of time. And I like this slide because it shows you all of our offerings. And unlike other companies who may piecemeal things, everything that we have is yours. And it's just the magic is finding out how to use it and use it in a way that's helpful to you. So again, we're all app-based, which means you can use any of your devices. You get to control those costs, whether it's an Android or an iPhone, a tablet of any kind. As long as they can take a picture and download an app, let's use it. We also work offline too. So if you're in a rural area, which many of us are, and you don't have great connectivity, you're still able to have your people clock in and clock out or even record that production. And by the time they get back into cell reception or connectivity, we will automatically pull it. So again, not relying on your employees to give you information, because as soon as that device has connectivity, we're going to auto sync and pull that information in. So what do we offer? A mobile app. A mobile app can be used in a number of ways. It can be used by the owner of a farm or a supervisor on the farm, where maybe they want to know where all of their people are at a given point in the day. You can also have it used by crew boss who can clock their staff in and out. It can also be used to record production, piecework per pound. And lastly, you can use it as a way to give your individual employees, those employees who are working independently, and maybe they start off in a location that's not at the shop. They can clock in and clock out from their own mobile device wherever they are, and you can actually see where they are throughout the day, what they're doing, and communicate in that way. For those operations that just need a quick clock in, clock out at a stationary location like a shop, farm stand, a garage, a pack house, you can use our kiosk app, which allows your employees to come in, clock in, select a job, and off they go. All of this information goes into our admin site. This is where you collect all of that information and ultimately pay your people, whether through it's your own payroll system or through payroll powered by ADP right there. We also really value transparency as well. So we offer a proprietary employee portal that allows your employees to see what they're doing and to review their hours or review their piecework before you run payroll. So again, we're trying to prevent any retroactive changes and really provide that transparency and communication between yourself and your staff. So the FieldClock advantage, as you can sure I'm seeing already, is that by streamlining this process, you are having accuracy with the time in and time out that your employees get there. You have accuracy in piecework because you're recording it in real time. There's accuracy because there's no more human error with having to calculate those difficult things like piecework or minimum wage adjustments. Those things are happening real time by FieldClock. As we establish your account for you, this is something that'll happen automatically so that this way it's easy for you and less time consuming. And by having your people clock in, clock out, record that production, you have real-time data. So this means you can make better business decisions day to day instead of having to wait towards the end of the week, the end of the month, the end of the year. For those of you who are doing field packing and you have a truck waiting for a number of boxes, bins, you name it, so that they can take off and go to market, now you can actually watch how fast your crew is moving. You can give the truck driver a heads up so that this way you're making everyone's time more efficient. And again, because all of these numbers, your employee hours, are already calculated for you, it makes payroll seamless. Again, whether you're using your own payroll system or if you'd like to utilize ours, it's so much faster, it's way more accurate. And so are your taxes. Your taxes are going to be easier, they're going to be more accurate, as well as compliance too, because now you have this information stored. So you can look at your information year after year. If you have a wage and hour audit, you have real-time information that you're able to share with any auditors or inspectors that come out in real time. And I love this quote by Blaine. I've gotten to talk to him a few times. And for me, having worked in the field and having had so many roles, I was working super early in the morning. I started at 6, like many of you do, and I was working until 7:38, 9, 10 o'clock some nights just to get payroll and other bookkeeping things done. And I was missing out on time with my family. So this hits home for me that his bookkeeper, and many of us are the bookkeeper, went from spending 20 hours doing payroll down to 2 hours during harvest. And that's a significant amount of time. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but actionable data. Now you have all of the things that you need, powerful reporting, those payroll exports, being able to pull real-time information for a wage and hour compliance audit right at your fingertips. So now many of you who have any H-2A employees or just employees in general know that you can get audited at any time. And once they're on your farm, the longer that they're there, the more problems that they find. So the goal is to give them the information that they need, get it to them quickly, and then get them out of there as soon as possible. And now you're able to do that with FieldClock because if they have a specific question, you can pull that up quickly. And then you can say, here, would you like me to print it out? I can even email you a copy. What else do you need? So we talked about payroll a little bit, but I'd like to talk to you about payroll powered by ADP. We have absolutely competitive pricing when it comes to QuickBooks and other systems. But the difference with us, the difference with going with FieldClock powered by ADP is that you have a powerhouse of ADP at your fingertips, but you have the personalization of dealing with FieldClock. So as many of you know, having to call larger companies, they don't know who you are. Many of them aren't dealing with agriculture, but with us, we know it intimately. I'm a farmer. We have farmers on staff who understand your needs. We know that you have challenges with your 943 form. We're able to answer your questions in real time. And if we don't know it, we're going to be the ones that contact ADP and make sure we get that answer. And what's great about our company is we're always learning and we're always making ourselves and our system better. So when you ask us a question that we don't know, we love that because now we do for the next time someone asks. I know I talked about it a little bit, so I'm just going to skip past this slide, but we do have a lot of great benefits. And I'll share this again at the end, and I'm sure that Nico will share my information as well. But please, if you have questions after this, give me a call. Let me know. I love talking, and I love hearing your story and finding ways where we can help. All right. So as promised, Nico, I don't know if we have any questions so far or not, but if not, I'm just going to jump into a demo.
We do have a couple. If you
Ooh,
want to tackle those now, I can throw them at you. Pretty simple. John was asking, how long does it take to fully implement FieldClock on my farm?
ooh. Okay, great question. So that's gonna range. Now, like I was talking about in the slide where we showed the app, the kiosk app, it really just depends on the how many locations you have, whether you're doing piecework, ultimately the complexity. But I will say this, we can get you up and running fairly quickly. The steps to this are after we find the solution, so we'll work together to find out how you'd like to utilize that. I'll then introduce you to a team member quickly and just let them know how you're going to be using it so that this way they can streamline the next steps. So from there, you'll work with our implementation team, and it usually takes about an hour to 2 hours. We always say at least two to build this together. And again, that's more on the complex side. That's a little bit more of piecework, multiple locations, more employees. From there, once we've built your account, we get you going. We make sure that anybody who's going to have access to our field apps, we also help training in any way we can. Our staff is all US based and they're also bilingual. So depending on how many users you have, we'll set up a time where we can meet with them, make sure they're up and running, and then go from there. But I would say we can get you up and running within a week However, we do want to make sure that we're taking the time to work with you so that this way, in case we need to make any tweaks and changes, we can do that over the course of the next couple weeks. Also, we'll meet with you when you go to run your first payroll, whether it's through our system or through your own. We want to be there to hold your hand to make sure that there's no issues and it goes seamlessly for you. And if there are any hiccups, we're there to adjust them in real time. So I would say up and running within a week, actual hands-on training, I would say about a solid 2 hours. But yeah, we can move pretty quickly.
Excellent. I'm asking these a little out of order, but I'm putting this one ahead just because it's kind of related to that last question. Kelly is asking, do my workers need to be tech savvy to use FieldClock?
Oh, Kelly, that's another great answer. So back to our initial slide of FieldClock was created by farmers for farmers. We understand that not everybody is tech savvy. I'm not tech savvy, as you can ask ask my coworkers. I am the least savvy of the bunch here.
No comment.
However, we've built this system because we want to make it as easy as possible for your employees to clock in. The easier it is for your employees to clock in, the easier it is for them to get that information that you need to make better business decisions. So not tech savvy at all. Additionally, our apps will automatically translate into Spanish too. So if you have any Spanish speakers on your farm and their device is in Spanish, it'll automatically transfer over. And the next step, and as you can see on my main screen, I'm going to get to that soon, is we use a lot of great icons so that it's really intuitive, not only for your employees, but also for you as well on the back end.
Awesome. Thanks, Ash. Last one. And you may have touched on it in a previous slide, but I think he's just looking for specifics. So Mitchell was asking, can FieldClock integrate with my payroll system? I use QuickBooks.
Yes, it can. It can integrate. There is a caveat between QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Online. And also, this is where I'd love to talk to you afterwards as well. There are some challenges with piecework. But yes, ultimately we can integrate with QuickBooks. That is actually one of about close to 3 dozen systems that we currently work with. And if we don't have experience with one, we certainly can create an export file for you.
Awesome. Thanks, Ashley. And
Great.
thanks for throwing those questions out there to the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize just a piecework scenario to show you the complexity. Because again, this system is going to be completely tailored to you. What are your tasks? What are your people doing? And are they hourly? Are they piecework? Are they a combination of the two? But because piecework is a little bit more challenging, we're going to start with that. But just please understand that we can really scale this down so that it's very easy for your employees. So I'm using my own personal cell phone right now. And as you can see on my screen here, this is what it looks like. I have multiple locations here. And today we're going to create a new job. So I'm going to act like I am a crew boss. So today we're going to be working at Blue Harvest Farms. We are going to be picking some strawberries. Now, just so you know, I am recreating a job that I already have in the system. Actually, we'll do, yep, we'll do picking. Perfect. We do strawberries. Now, I love our system because you can pay your employees hourly, piecework, a combination of the two. If you were thinking about moving to piecework and maybe you weren't quite sure, you can actually pay your employees hourly for the first season, but capture piecework as well to just have confidence that the system works. Today, we're going to do piecework. And we are going to pick into boxes. All right, perfect. We can also do weight as well. So if you're paying your employees by weight, it's a very, very easy process. All right, fantastic. All right, so now, I don't know if you can see my screen, but this is an employee badge. It has a QR code on it and a picture, and it is one of the things that we absolutely recommend when using piecework. You don't automatically have to print them out on PVC cards, but it's definitely recommended. We can certainly print them out on paper, laminate them, tape them, whatever you need to do. But the reason I'm showing you that is because it makes clocking in and clocking out, especially out in the field, a breeze. So now what I'm going to do is just clock some employees in. So as you can see, my phone is flashing red. It's beeping and it's also vibrating. And I really like that too, because it gives your crew boss peace of mind. If the screen flashes red, they know that your people are clocked in. If you've got lots of machinery around or there's a glare on your phone, they can feel their phone buzzing. Now, as you can see on my main screen here, we have 4 employees clocked in and we're going to start recording production. So I'm going to go down to the bottom of my phone here and click on tickets. All right, so now we're going to start giving some credit to employees. All right, Colton and Charlie, those are my kids, so I have them in as demo samples here today. So now, as you can see, I just captured 4 boxes. And it's going to tell me that my currently hourly production is 335 boxes. And as we continue to talk and as I continue to scan boxes in, this is going to start leveling out. So like I mentioned earlier, you're actually going to be able to see in real time how quickly your crew is moving to, again, make real-time decisions while you're out in the field. We're going to throw a few more on here, and then we're going to, I'll show you something else as well. All right, so Colton, Charlie. All right, excellent. Perfect. Again, capturing 8 boxes, leveling out. So from here as well, your crew boss can give your employees breaks. So it's really easy to give them a break, whether that's a heat break, a lunch break, a rest break, you name it. Whatever it is that you're doing on your farm, whether it's paid, unpaid, you name it, we can set it up so it's easy for your crew boss to give everybody a break. All right, now let's say we're moving from one field to the other. You can move your crew easily because we know that your people are bouncing around quite frequently. So what I'm going to do is just slide over, create a new job, and let's say we're going to go from strawberries, and I do apologize, but sometimes strawberry growers are also blueberry growers. So we'll select that right now. Perfect. And now the key to this is I am going to take all of my employees with me. So just like that, my employees have been clocked out of picking strawberries and into blueberries. Because one of the great things about FieldClock is that your employees can only be clocked into one job at a time. So that means your information, your data is going to be absolutely clean. All right, fantastic. So now what I'm going to do is put this aside and bring you into the FieldClock admin site. So initially I created a sample task today, but you can see that we created a job together of picking strawberries and then picking blueberries. I'm going to go into my sample job just so that you would see what this looks like. When I go to timeline, I can see when my employees clocked in, when they clocked out. I can see when they took a break. And then I also have a visual sample of how quickly they're moving, how quickly they're picking. So as you can see, Colton is really moving. And let's say Brad is just taking his time. That can mean a couple of different things. What's your quality like? What's Brad's quality like as compared to maybe Colton's? And as you start building and establishing your history, you can also establish, best practices, how quickly your employees should be moving while they're picking so that you really optimize your quality. Now, each time your employees clock in, clock out, or record production, we will have a geopin. So just to be clear, we're not following your employees around all day, but each time they clock in and clock out, there'll be a geopin. And I like this too, because if there's a problem maybe with your quality, you can actually go back and see where exactly they were when they picked it. And then from here, again, your employees clocking in, clocking out, you would go ahead and finalize that job. You can even delegate that responsibility to a crew boss. The great thing about FieldClock is you can give access to the admin site or not. It's really up to you and how you would like your crew and your employees to operate. But ultimately, you'd finalize your jobs, and however frequency you're paying your employees, so whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, you would go ahead and you'd capture all of those jobs that take place, and you would either pay them through ADP right in our system here, as you can see, powered by ADP, or we would create an export file for you to utilize in your payroll system. All right. So as your employees clock in and clock out, you're going to get some really great information. For those of you who are concerned about overtime or you know that that's impending, what'll happen, you can quickly go to our reports section and view overtime. You can see where exactly your employees are at any given point during the week. I love this tool because it really allows you to understand and forecast your expenses. So if you have to set a little bit aside because you know that you're going to have to pick this week and there's nothing you can do about it, great. You'll understand how many hours you think that your employees may be working. Or maybe you're able to control it a little bit more, having these thresholds and alerts in the system so that this way you know, hey, Ashley was approaching overtime and she went right past it. Either way, you would know and maybe be able to let me go home a little bit earlier that day. Now, I love labor costs by field, and these are just our basic reports. We actually just enhanced our system by having a custom report builder, which I'll get to in a little bit. But what I love here is you can see all of my locations. So I have 5 demo locations here, and you can see how much I'm spending in labor at each of my tasks. If I go into one, I'll also have block level reporting. So if that's what you want, if you want to break out your location by blocks or by field, we'll be able to tell you exactly how much you're spending in labor by task, by location. The same way with productivity as well. So you can see production by employee, production by field, a lot of great things here. Now, as far as our new report builder, this is where the rubber hits the road. If you have really specific reports that you would like to run, if you want to know exactly how much you spent in a specific task at a specific location, we can set that up for you so that this way you can run that report automatically. We have a really robust reporting system. Again, you can have your costs broken down by your location, by block, you name it. And what I really love about our support staff as well is if you're interested in running a certain type of report, we're here and on hand for you to be able to help build that with you. All right, Nico, how are we doing on time?
We're looking good. I did have one question going back to the admin site, well, 2 questions actually. One related to the admin site, and that is Riley was asking, when you were showing all of your blocks before there, is there a cost or a limit associated to how many places that you can implement FieldClock?
Oh, really great question. So I'm going to take us over to our ranches where that's where all of your locations will be housed. So no, there is no limit to how many ranches. So what we consider a ranch to be a large parcel of land. You can then break that ranch down into blocks. You can have as many ranches, as many blocks as you'd like. And what I love about this as well is that you can customize each and every one of them. So for instance, you may not be doing the same tasks out in your strawberry field as you would in your pack house or your garage or your shop. So as you can see, I created Blue Harvest Farms. I grow blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries, and I have all of these tasks that we do. And each block that I have has its own variety of tasks. So great question. The answer is you can have as many as you need.
Love it. And we have
At no additional cost.
Oh, perfect. Even better. We have a shy person in the audience here because it just says anonymous attendee, but I'll ask the question anyways. It's they're asking, does FieldClock help with onboarding employees on site?
Yes. However, we keep our pricing very, very, very affordable. And the way that we're able to keep our pricing affordable is because we find that a lot of times we're able to help your employees and onboarding by meeting with you via Zoom, over the phone, via text, things like that. Yes, we certainly can come out if there was a need. However, we would have to charge for our time to come out there to do it. But I feel absolutely confident that we're going to be able to meet all of your needs by meeting with you virtually to get that done. We can even meet with your team as well. And one of my best practices that I talk about with all of my customers and everyone I meet is that not only should you have our support line number, so should all of your employees who have access to our app. And the reason why is because let's say your employee is struggling. There's been an iOS update and it's just impacting everything on their phone, not just FieldClock. they stop what they're doing, they call you, they let you know they're struggling, you call us, and a lot of times it's just going to be something in the systems, a setting, a filter, an update. And we're going to say, okay, can you go to your settings? And you're like, it's not my device. So instead of having to go and play telephone, literally, we recommend that you give our number, our support line, directly to your employees so that this way they can call us and we can say, great, absolutely, just go to your settings and we'll walk them through it in real time as well. And again, like I said earlier, our support staff is US based. We are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're also bilingual as well.
Excellent.
All right. I'm not sure if you have anything else you'd like for me to show today, but that's a pretty solid showcase of FieldClock and how we operate.
Excellent. Thank you. No, that's it for questions. I guess the main thing is really getting a hold of you. You had a slide up there before. I can easily put that into the chat as well. Put some contact info there. If you do have any more specific questions for Ashley, she's more than welcome to answer them for you. Oh, there it is. Thanks, Ash.
You're welcome. And absolutely, please give me a call, shoot me a text, however you like to communicate, let me know, and I'd be more than happy to help you. One of the things that I really do like about FieldClock and I like about this position, there's no pressure from us. We know that we're a solution and we love helping farms and farmers. So please, there's no pressure. Just give us a call. Let us know how we can help.